What are you hoping to get out of this session today? Pop in the chat, just let us know. Maya's running this session today. We've got lots planned for you. But it's always useful to know what you're hoping to get out of the session. What drew you your attention to coming to this session? Sabaris, and where are you from? Tools and systems. Excellent.
That's exactly what we have, tools and systems.
And okay.
You're in India now, moving to Europe. Oh,
India.
nice.
All
Whereabouts
right.
in Europe? I mean, Europe's a big continent.
Ooh, some more people joining us.
Are they? Oh, yeah, got a few more.
Excellent. All right.
K-ish. I'm going
Well,
to
welcome.
guess that's an abbreviation for something. Not necessarily, but that's just what I'm guessing. Welcome, everyone. We're going to give people a couple more minutes and then I'll just start. It's going
Yes.
to be a small group, and that's completely fine. I mean, ADHD isn't something everyone's comfortable discussing, so I'm not going to sweat it. Don't sweat it. And by the way,
Mm.
does any of you actually feel you have ADHD or have you been diagnosed? I have not been diagnosed. I just know I have all the symptoms. No? Okay, that's fine. You might find this a little bit too intense if you're not ADHD. Karen is not. And every time I talk about ADHD, her eyes just glaze over. So completely understand. That's perfectly fine.
I think actually that there's, you know, people are coming far more aware of what ADHD is, and actually a lot of people are seeing themselves in the in the symptoms and in the kind of
Well,
diagnosis side.
it's
I haven't been necessarily formally diagnosed, although more people are. Um, but there's a lot of people that, like you, Maya, consider themselves to be undiagnosed ADHD. You know that actually, when anyone talks about the various, I don't like
the
talking about like
symptoms.
the symptoms, the characteristics. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, the
Yeah.
various characteristics that you see yourselves in there, and so
Well,
it's
what's
really quite common.
challenging though is that nowadays with the whole social media thing and the doom scrolling, we've all got tiny attention spans, which used to be the main characteristics that set us apart, right?
That's right.
That we can't focus.
Yeah.
No, maybe I wouldn't, you know what? There's no reason to get diagnosed if you don't want to. I refuse to get diagnosed because A, like you said, once it's on your record, everybody treats you differently. And B, I don't want to go on medicines. I just, you know, I'm weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Mimi. It's different strokes for different folks, and some people that diagnosis means a lot to them, and others actually it is just a label. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change how you operate, but it's just around understanding how you operate so that you can manage it in the best way possible. And
Yeah.
we're all different. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses, and that's the bottom line. And we just have to play with what we have.
I
Um,
will say though, for me, at first I didn't even know, I had not even a clue that the word ADHD had anything to do with me until I started reading up about it. And then I was like, oh, that is me. And that is me. And that is me. And then, oh, and these are the ways I could use to leverage both the hyperfocus and the attention drift, or shall we say shiny object syndrome. Anyway, I think I've chatted long enough. I'm just going to go into presentation mode if I can find my presentation. So give me a second. Oh heavens, Whisper Flow is trying to run. I don't want Whisper Flow running right now. All right. So I am going to go into, wait, I suppose I should share screen, shouldn't I? Share screen. Oh yeah, share my whole window. Yes. Okay, you're going to see a very messy window. That's me. Sorry. All right, you can now see my screen. And of course, I'm on the last page instead of the first page. That's always fun. All right, so here we are. And what this session is about is literally, trying to get AI to help with my ADHD glitches. What
Okay,
glitches?
Mara, Summer Reason is asking, this meeting is not related to AI and IT. Maybe you
No,
should kind of
no,
clarify.
sorry, yes, good point. This whole thing is about I've been undiagnosed but convinced myself that I am ADHD, and I've been using a program to help me use AI to work with ADHD and to overcome my ADHD challenges and to leverage my ADHD advantages. Let's just say that. So that's what this is. This has nothing to do with IT. This is not about project management. This is not about creating prompts. None of that. If that's what you were hoping for, I'm sorry, this is the wrong place for you. But stick around. You might still learn something interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have other sessions which focus more on the IT and the AI side. This is really about the application of AI and how it can help with ADHD.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go really high level, into why I'm doing this. Um, First of all, there's that ADHD persona text. I don't know if you've heard about it. I heard about it fairly recently. I was quite surprised. And also the way to automate, like most of us do not present ourselves as we are, but as we think other people want us to be, because the way we are feels broken, right? At least for me. So we've got this camouflage that we use. AI
So,
can help you.
sorry to interrupt again. Alex is asking, what is the ADHD persona tax? I've not heard of it either.
It's coming up in a couple of slides. Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
We'll get to it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I should maybe this slide should have gone later. Thank you. Um, okay. Now, has any of you seen a decorator crab? This is a fun thing. It is a crab. I've been to the Royal Ontario Museum here, and we have these little decorator crabs, and whatever environment they're in, they grab little pieces off and stick it to themselves so that they blend in. You cannot tell who they are, what they are. Look at the one on the left. He's, purple and green and just looks fuzzy, whereas the one on the right looks like somebody's really fancy jewelry box, pillow, something. Both of those are decorator crabs, right? And this is what most of us learn to do. Starting from childhood, like I have a dad who was very yelly, right? He'd get mad and he'd shout, and I learned very early to just be quiet. Don't draw attention, try to be a good girl. And growing up, it just got more and more of that. Um, when I went to university, school in India, for example, if you ask too many questions, they shut you down. You're supposed to just listen and take in. Kind of like what I'm doing here by muting all of you. That's exactly the point. And, university in Canada was really different. We got to ask questions, we got to go do our own thing, do our own research. That was amazing for me. And then I got into a relationship where, again, I found myself walking on eggshells. Don't do this, don't do that. Growing up in India, again, if anyone hears from India, you know this. You always have music on. You're always singing or humming or whistling or, something like that. Music is very much a part of our lives. So I used to sing. Well, the reality is I have a really, really tone deaf voice and I can't carry a tune. And my ex actually said to me, don't sing, can't stand it. And I stopped. I stopped singing. And well, that's the kind of thing you do. You go to work. Again, this is from a very female perspective. I had men talking over me. And funnily enough, they would say the same thing I had said 5 minutes before, and everyone responded, going, what a great idea when the guy says it. So, all that kind of thing. And I learned to really compress myself, become very invisible almost. Basically, doing the decorator crab thing, taking up whatever little bits of string is around and putting it on yourself. So you look like them, you act like them. And that's a question I'm going to ask all of you. When did you learn that you weren't allowed to sing? All right. That something you did was making someone else uncomfortable. And so, with an excess of caution, you stopped doing that thing. Think about it. You don't have to tell me, but most of us, we've had that experience. And we've learned to camouflage really, really well. Now, here's that question, your ADHD persona tax. Researchers found that normal people can use their full brain, right? Whenever they're thinking of something, planning something, going forward. For us, there's that 40% of our brain that's always hyper alert. It's looking out for danger. It's looking out for, do I need to camouflage myself here? What am I saying? Like, there's that second voice running in parallel all the time. This means that at no time are you using the full capacity of your brain. This is a very common ADHD thing. Um, and, so this has just become normal. We are used to it. This is the normal for us. It's not the normal for most people. And oh, this is my 1992 glitch. That's the year I got into that relationship. My brain was frazzled. Everything I did felt wrong. I was in a new job. Oh, this one's a good story. Some of you might relate. Until then, I had been in university, right? So I could do whatever I want, set my own time, whatever. I landed this job, which was technically flex hours, but you had to be in latest by 10 and leave earliest at 4. So I would come in early because I'm a morning person. And one day, this computer, I'm a geek, I was a software engineer, was busy compiling. If you know what compiling is, especially back in 1992, it took a long time, right? And me being a smartass and a bookworm, I had a book. So I started reading it. Like, okay, I have the 10 minutes to go. I can read 10 pages. Ooh, did I get in trouble? My boss saw me and he was like, can I talk to you, please? Yeah. And let's just say I never did that again. And with all of this, over the years, it has always felt like I'm drowning, right? There's that 40% of my brain doing its own thing, going, what the hell are you doing? Second guessing myself all the time. Plus the ideas, we have so many ideas, right? And you're always kind of going, is this the right one? Is that the right one? Should I do this? And I will even start doing something. ADHD, another trait of that is that you are extremely hyper focused. When you're doing something, hours can go by and you won't notice. But the problem is, if someone shouts squirrel, you will immediately get distracted and go off down a different rabbit hole, right? And all of that is something that so far we've not had tools to manage. Yes, therapy is good. Yes, meds are good if it works for you. But there's another way to calm the chaos we've found, and that is with AI. And with AI, not only do you feel like you're more yourself, but literally you can leverage AI to be such a superpower for you that it's now better than normal. And that's what this whole thing is about. For me, that was this program called ZenithMind, which is basically, it's not a planner. It's not a way to, get yet another task list and checklist things off. I don't know if this is true for everybody else, but for me, ADHD has meant if I see a list and bullet points, like sorry, not bullet points, checklist. Bullet points I can deal with. If I see a checklist, it freaks me out. It's like, okay, that's a bunch of commitments. And knowing my inability to finish things, it's not a good idea to have a list. That just makes me feel horribly, horribly stressed. But Zenith Mind also is a way to just get rid of that camouflage, get rid of your limiting beliefs, because half the limiting beliefs we have are things that someone else said to us. Like my ex telling me I shouldn't sing. Um, it's also a way with Zenith Mind to achieve more than you ever dreamed possible. And that's what made me want to share this because I changed. I changed so radically. Um, yeah, well, what's so special? Well, the biggest thing about Zenith Mind is that it gets to know you. So far, most of us have been using AI as a way to answer questions, whether it is to send an email out or to, learn something about a new culture, a new food, a new topic you're interested in. But what we never seem to do is take the time to teach AI what we like, what we do, who we are, right? It understands some of it from repeated conversations if you talk to the same AI all the time, but it's not very, it's not a focused learning to know you. So this is what Zenith Mind is. It's a 4-week self-study course. Week 1, it basically learns everything about you. It asks you a bunch of questions. And based on that, it starts understanding. It's like a bunch of psychometric questions, things like your Myers-Briggs stuff, Colby, what's that other thing? The disc profile. Like there's so many variants, right? Where you've categorized people in different things and say what your style is of reacting to things. Once it does that, the second, I still haven't fixed that. That should be phase 2. It rewires you, it challenges you. Every time you start going down a path that you're doing just from habit, that AI stops you and says, why are you doing this? Is it because of this? Is there a better way to do this? So by week 2, you're already questioning some of the patterns you've been using all this time. Week 3 is phase 3. It expands you. It shows you like huge horizons that you had forgotten. Like as a child, you dreamed huge, really big. Now, not so much. You're, trying to stay within the lines, right? And then phase 4 is the most exciting part where it basically executes with you. And that's when you're like completely unstoppable. Week 3 gives you the confidence. Week 4 shows you the execution, right? And that's what today is all about. Not week 4, but week 1. We're just going to do day 1 of week 1. And that's this phase where the AI gets to know you like literally better than your own spouse would, your closest friend. It maps all your beliefs and your thought patterns and emotional triggers, uncovers hidden self-sabotage loops and blind spots and those, internal scripts that have been running your whole life. And by the end of just 1 week, the AI is no longer just responding to you. It anticipates your thinking and it helps you see yourself more clearly. And literally for me, that's true because I know that today I feel like I did when I was in university in my mid-20s. It's like that whole 30 years in between has just disappeared. I'm equally optimistic. I'm no longer a negative Nelly. Um, People would tell you, Karen should be able to tell you. 2 years ago, if you had asked her what Maya is like, she would probably have said she's a bit of an energy vampire, right? Because I was negative. I could not see the brightness. That's changed. It's completely gone. At this point, I don't care if there are risks, I'll take the risks. I mean, I took the risks even then, but not quite as eagerly and enthusiastically. Anyway, any questions so far? And if not, I will jump into giving you the script. Karen, can you monitor that for me?
Yeah, of course. Pop your questions in the chat if there are any here.
Okay, I do need to stop the share because, of course, no, I don't need to stop the share. There we go. YouTube, ZenithMind OS, day 1 prompt. Let's share that with you guys. And I can
So
drop
this
that.
system really is about you getting to know you better than you have ever before, really. It's not
It
just about
is.
how other people know you, it's actually you understanding yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and so from that perspective, it's extremely powerful. And ADHD is one persona, but this works across the board. Anybody, whoever,
Yes.
whatever your little foibles, because we all have our own little ways of thinking,
Mhm.
whatever that might be. This
Oh yeah,
system,
this tool isn't just intended for ADHD people. I am just focusing on the ADHD angle today. Yes. So there's absolutely, if you're here and you don't have ADHD, this is still going to be eye-opening for you, right? It's a system I acquired. I bought into this program about 6 months ago now. Yeah, August is when I started it. And I can tell you, you'll see in the slides after, there's huge changes. What I'm also going to do now, I dropped that in the chat. Did you guys get it? Just
get
dropped it one
the
more
link in the
time.
chat.
Yeah. So if you open that up, I'm going to go back to screen sharing. And this is it. So basically, all you need to do is grab this whole thing. Hello, down there. Grab everything from here. Are you seeing it? Ah, this is annoying. Grab all of that, copy it, and paste it into your ChatGPT. All right, everything until end of prompt. So everything from copy and paste to end of prompt. And I'm going to open up ChatGPT and just, wonder what that was. No, go away. Okay, no, did I not copy this? Apparently I did not copy this. Copy, copy, copy. Paste. There we go. So it's a very long prompt, very involved. When you have time, you can go look through it. It's got, let me see, I think it's either 20 or 30 questions, but by the time you get there, 20 questions. That takes you at least an hour. I'm not going to spend all that time. What I want you to do is just answer the first 5 questions. After every 5 questions, it stops and gives you the feedback on what it understands about you so far. And that's all I'm going to do today. You have this prompt, you can take it with you and, finish it whenever you have the rest and have the time to do it properly. What I will say is when you're doing this, tell it the truth and expand as much as you can, because the more detail you give it, it's like any prompt, right? The more detail you give it, the better it understands you and the better it can help you in future. When you end day one, it will also give you a ZenithMind scorecard, which basically says, this is how much I understand you. So out of 100, it'll say, I understand you 50%, I think. That's my confidence level, or 60 or 80. It really depends on how thorough your answers were. And I think I will now stop talking and start, I'm going to answer the questions with you. You don't have to look at my screen. Just go ahead and do your session. And again, if you have questions, feel free to pop up, but I am just going to go quiet now. Enjoy.
So Maya, you're using ChatGPT, but I mean, they haven't asked, but doesn't have to be ChatGPT, does it?
It does not. The reason that Rich Scheffrin's the man who made this program, he started with ChatGPT because it had that million token context, which means you can get long, involved chats without it losing track of what you're doing. But you can literally use anything now. And I usually mostly use Gemini right now. I am almost ready to switch to Claude.
So this is going to give you insight into how the program works and a little bit of insight into you and your way of thinking and where your blockages might be. But remember, this is just day one, so there is a lot more in the program than this, but this alone is very powerful.
Yep, and I'm going to put up a timer, I think. That might be useful. I'm
Yeah.
going to give
Alex is asking,
us,
why do you use Gemini or Claude now?
I honestly, Gemini, because the only reason I'm using Gemini is because I love all the other tools it comes with. Notebook LM, the entire, that whole Google Labs thing that you can play with. Nano Banana, VO, all of that. You get all of that for the same price as you get ChatGPT. I would much rather have the whole thing. Where's my host tools? Okay, stop share again. Let's see if I can get back to, there's the host tools. I would move to Claude because I did an experiment recently and asked Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT the same question about GE's annual filing from 2023. Two of them lied. Claude didn't. That's the only reason. And also, if you're any type of a coder, if you're doing programming, Claude is the strongest still. And I tend to do a bit of that still. Yeah, Claude is really good. Now I can't remember why I came here. Oh yeah, I'm going to set up a timer, aren't I?
So this is your session to actually do some hands-on work with your LLM of choice. So just copy and paste that prompt into your AI tool and just follow the questions, chat away with it.
Okay, there's a timer. We've got a timer. I am going to go on mute. I'll come back if anyone has questions, but other than that, I'm just going to sit here quietly and let you work.
So 20-minute time, is that right?
That's correct. The timer's on your screens, I think. You should also be able to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, Mimi. Glad to hear you're excited. Go for it.
Go chat with AI.
Chat with chat.
Any questions or issues, then just chat in the chat, put it in the chat box, and we can see how we can help you. Enjoy.
I should mention this is not like one of those multiple choice questions where you only give one answer. If you want to say it's A and C, B and D, whatever, feel free to explain and elaborate why you would choose more than one. And this is actually why it's better than most of the psychometric tests, because on those you have to pick up just one answer. So it's skewed. This gives you a better rounded picture.
And also, just like psychometric testing, there is no right and there is no wrong answer. So, whatever is right for you.
Exactly.
As Maya said, if it's a mixture of the answers, then say so. Um, I think we've got a couple of people that have just joined the session. We're just going through a hands-on session where you're working through a prompt. Just copy that prompt again. Oops. I'll put it in the chat for you.
I just did.
Oh, you did. Good.
So Mimi, you're ahead of us on this by using ChatGPT as your coach and your mentor and your friend.
That's great.
It might help if I actually turned on my audio, wouldn't it? All right, folks. Everybody ready to come back? I'm hoping you've got to question 5 and got your mini summary. Yeah. Yeah, I know the first time I did this was when Rich was introducing it to us, and I had just got to question 5, and my eyes were filling up because I was like, oh my gosh, this thing understands me better. My friends wouldn't have been able to. My family might have suspicions, but I don't.
I think you
A
might have
couple more
paused.
minutes. What did I pause?
It might have been my screen, I don't know. You're talking now, it's fine. Nope.
No, I must have been frozen for everyone. Well, that sucks.
So how did everyone
Okay.
find it? Alex found it very interesting. Good. You're fine now, Maya.
Okay. All right. Then I think I'm going to go back into my presentation. If you got any questions, ask away. If not, I have to go find my presentation again. There we go. So we just did the, oh, you've got a question. Dom, could you put that in the chat, please? Day 1, Zenith Mind. We just did that. If you've got questions, happy to answer them. It's the goal to do these prompts every day. If you do your, if you go in for the Zenith Mind program, there's 30 days of prompts. So you do 1 a day. And yeah, of course, nothing stopping you from doing 2 a day if you want. But it goes deeper and deeper each day. By the end of the first week, like it goes through different aspects of your life, your relationships, your career, your business, whatever, your health. So by the end of week 1, it knows you very thoroughly, depending on how well you answer it, how clearly and deeply you answer it. And then week 2, it challenges you, it pushes back, it tries to steer you out of your patterns that aren't working for you. Anybody else? Dom, you had a question. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. You can argue back with Zenith OS, but the point with Zenith Mind is, again, because you have more open-ended questions, even though it's multiple choice, you are able to give it an explanation. Therefore, it's able to, I think, more accurately reflect what you are than the usual personality tests. Because, like I said, there's one choice out of 5, whereas here you can do 2 or 3 and explain why.
And also, rather than just one psychometric test, which is what you normally do, you do a standalone individual test. This is actually looking at multiple frameworks
Yes.
and comparing and contrasting and looking at the overall picture. So it's a much deeper um, level of response that you get. So yes,
Karen actually has her life coach training and certification and all of that. So she knows what she's talking about. I don't.
yeah, no, I've run various psychometric tests before, and worked with people on all of this kind of stuff, and yeah, exactly for that reason, this is a lot deeper because it gives you much more flexibility to answer the questions in the way that's very relevant and real for you. But also, it's not just looking at it from one dimension or one framework. It's looking at a multitude of frameworks and then comparing, contrasting, and therefore being able to really come up with a rich response and understanding of who you really are. And as I said in the chat also, it's actually analyzing every little thing that you're saying, how you're saying it, the words you're using, and that's saying so much about how your mind is working. Um,
Actually, Dom just updated his note. He says, I actually feel it's more realistic as it takes into account your
yes,
current life situation. Yeah, 100% agreed.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah. It's I was fascinated by this, to be honest. Like I was determined to get into this program no matter what it took. So I'm glad I did. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
And
So
the fact is that it's interactive as well. So it's not just giving you a static response. You actually
yes.
engage with it and it gets refined and it really gets down to help you understand yourself better than you've ever understood yourself before.
And actually, just like with any other interaction with AI, feel free to push back. If it's saying something that you disagree with, totally say, nope, that's not true. This is not why I'm doing this. I mean, there's a whole, I think it was day 6 or 7, the one that talked about success, where it was asking me questions. And for me, success is not about money, it's not about status. For me, success is literally freedom, optionality, being able to do whatever I want when I want it. Like, that's my idea of success. And oh my gosh, even ZenithMind was trying to keep pushing me back into, how about, what would happen if this happened? You got $1 million, you had a fine house, whatever. And I'm like, not interested.
Mm.
Finally, I said, okay, I'm stopping that day. I just did not do that day. I went on, went on to the
Mm.
next day. So the program is not the boss of you. You are the boss. At all times, you have control. Going back to this, I'm going to say, okay, I already shared this slide, but just going over one more time. After doing questions 1 to 5, I think you'll understand better that, yeah, this AI will really, by the time you're done, it will know you better than your best friend, your family members. It understands you like Dom was saying, your psychometric tests, the standalone ones, don't understand you as well as this one does. It
Yeah.
also, very importantly, finds your own self-sabotage spots. That is important. That's important for life. It's important for your career, for your business, for anything else. And also, by the end of week 1, you have given this AI, whatever AI you're using, you've given it so much information about yourself, so focused that it can help you forward, right? It knows how you think by that point. It can help you see yourself more clearly. Okay, what's going on here? Okay,
Yeah.
phase 2.
Dom is asking here, would Zenith Mind Operating System help with career discovery, especially if we're not happy with our current job or want to AI proof our career and still enjoy it?
100%, yes. And I'm going to say that because I have switched careers before. My degree is, I have a master's in AI, computer science, majoring in AI. Um, I did 20 years as a software engineer, started with AI, discovered, I was tired of doing expert systems, which is all we had back in the day, moved into e-commerce and server-side development. Um, Wound up working for AT&T because they took over this tiny company I was working with that was doing, all the apps to stream FIFA on your phone and all of that. Quick Play in Canada was one of the first to make those apps, and I worked with them, and I worked for them rather. AT&T took us over. I went to management there, and when they finally laid me off, I was like, I am sick and tired of programming. So I went into marketing. Did that for several years. That's how Karen and I met.
Mm.
And, then AI came along and we were both into AI so much. And we're like, we love this thing. And this, to me, Zenith Mind was like the ultimate. I'm sure there's better somewhere else, but this is the best I've seen.
Yeah.
Um, anyway,
And, and the real value here is that it's not like I say, it's not static. It's not just an interaction you get a response end of. It's backwards and forwards. It's backwards and forwards. And as Maya said, it goes through 4 phases. Once it really understands you, it can really help you open up those blind spots, help you deal with them, and deal with the challenges that you have in life
so you,
in
Dom,
any aspect.
you were talking about your career. Imagine being able to talk to the AI and say, okay, this specifically is what's not working for me. Maybe it is the fact that you have to go into the office every day. Maybe it's the fact that your boss is a moron. I've had bosses like that. Maybe it's the fact that there's someone in your company who's treated like God and everybody else is, a peon. Talk to the AI. It can help you. It can help you not just deal with what's happening, but also plan your future. Maybe you
Yeah,
need a new job. Maybe you need a new career. Maybe once it knows
yeah.
all your strengths and weaknesses, it can suggest that set of new careers that you could choose from. So
Exactly.
it's super, super helpful.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
I'm going back to this because I think this will help. Phase two, it's actually helping you confront your limiting beliefs. Like everything you told it in phase one is how you are today, right? It pushes you. Like a lot of these things, like that thing about not singing. I literally, I promise you, I haven't been singing until about 5 days ago when I turned on the radio and I was like, oh my God, I miss this. Now it's on 24/7. Well, except when I'm sleeping. Um, So those things are what you need to break, right? The narratives, someone told you as a kid that you're lazy. You're not lazy. You just have a brain that works differently. Yeah. Um, anyway, by the end of phase two, that whole internal resistance is gone. Well, for me, it was gone, restructured. It could just be reduced, but just even reducing it 10% makes your life a whole lot better. Phase three is week three. And this is when the real magic happens. For me, it was like, what's possible? You know, like I said, I was shrinking myself into a smaller and smaller radius. Like there was only so much I could do, there was only so much I had control of. But by the end of phase three, you will see what else is possible. And Dom, this actually answers your question. What else is possible, right? It'll help you clarify your vision, find your path forward. You can think bigger and act bolder. And you are going to be not just thinking at a higher level, you will be actually operating at one because you suddenly realize that all those things that held you back, they were mostly fiction, right? You didn't realize that they were fiction, but it's just stories you've been telling yourself. And it's stories that are no longer relevant, that probably actually never were true. But someone said something and you took it on and assumed it was true. Phase four is even more exciting because now it knows you, you know the AI, you are now working together as partners. You're executing now at a completely different level. Anything that was a friction point, it figures out a way to get rid of that friction. For me, anyone again with ADHD, procrastination is huge, right? You'll put it off because you don't feel like it, and then you start resisting it because now it feels like a load. It feels like something you have to do. And that just what's the word for it? Snowballs. That snowballs and become bigger and bigger in your head until, Karen tells me, she says this to her son, like, just do it. It's less time to do it than to argue about doing it. Right. That's true. I've done that to my nephew, I'd say the same thing to him. Just do it.
This is though, is that Zenith Mind takes away. I don't know if any of you've ever read the Inner Game, any of the Inner Game books by Timothy Galway.
I've
We
not.
all have kind of like a natural ability to do stuff, but often we try and fit ourselves like square pegs in round holes. And I
Yes.
think that, we try and fit to a a way of being that others are kind of framing for us. And that
Yes.
doesn't necessarily work for who we are. What Zenith Mind does is it unblocks those things. It kind of says, well, okay, you're trying to do this, but actually you think this way. And that there's a resistance, internal resistance there that's blocking you from really fully expressing the potential that you are. And
Yeah.
what Zenith Mind does is it helps you identify those blocks and the blind spots and ways of being that we've kind of you know unconsciously developed in order to try and fit. And
Yes.
then once you understand that, it then helps you overcome that and deal with that challenge to then operate in the way in which you were always meant to operate, because your brain isn't flawed. None of our brains are flawed. They're just trying to, perhaps having been tried to squeeze into a shape that it doesn't fit. So it's just really unblocking all of those, all of the interference to us really kind of expressing ourselves in the highest level.
Yeah.
And that's when there's no more incongruence. That's where there's no more blockages, and the path, moving forward is so much easier because it's who we were meant to be. It's how our brain works. The problem is that we've been trying to make our brain and ourselves behave and fit in a certain mold that isn't right for us.
Yeah.
I think that's true for everybody, you know. And so Zenith Mind is amazing in terms of uncovering that and helping you kind of be completely happy with who you are because you understand yourself better.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you've ever seen that image of Houdini with his hands tied behind his back, body contorted into a little box, and how he would always manage to get out. It's not the how you would get out that I'm focused on, but just that image of him all locked up in that little trunk. That's what we've been, right? Because we've contorted our body to fit into expectations, our behavior, not our body. We've tied our own hands behind our back. And honestly, by the time you're done with Zenith Mind, that's gone. I have no hesitation now telling people what I want. I never used to speak up. Um, anyway, you've all read the screen while I was blabbing. Okay, I can. This is the comparison. Um, this is from my AI. I asked it what's changed about me. So in the past, if there was a big ambiguity, I would either withdraw or freeze. Now I'm just like, okay, that's just an input. Keep going. I used to wait for other people to make decisions. Now I make my own. The ADHD pattern, like I said, the procrastination, then I would feel overwhelmed, and then I would shut down, and then I would feel guilty. Now, this is again thanks to AI. It tells me just do it for 2 minutes. I'm not asking you to keep going. After 2 minutes, if you don't want to do this thing that you said you wanted to do, that's fine. Go do something else. But again, hyperfocus kicks in, right? In 2 minutes, that's all I need. That 2 minutes, if I get started, I will achieve so much more because I will then stay on it until it's done. Again, identity versus mood. The bad days felt personal. Now I know that they're temporary. I bounce back really fast. Um, if I got triggered by someone doing something that I didn't like, that felt inconsistent and that I felt I couldn't control, I would disengage. I would back off. I would walk away. Now I'm more likely to engage, to say what's not working for me, to actually push back, and a whole lot more. Um, but and that was 4 months into Zenith Mind. That was 2 months ago in December. This is now today, 2 months later. I have gone from a high IQ broken professional masking as a generic marketer. Now I'm just literally being what I am. I have an MSc in AI, and I'm just going to protect my architect self, whatever that takes. And when I say protect it, I don't mean I'm camouflaging myself. I'm letting AI do all the work that I used to do to camouflage myself. I had a cognitive blind spot. I'm a Colby follow through of one. This is why I don't make commitments, because if I do, I know there's a probably 90-10 chance that I won't follow through. Now I have someone else to do the work. There's AI to do the work, and for anything else, there's bots, there's a VA layer, like anything can happen. I used to do everything manually in the past. Even 2 months ago, I was literally cold calling people trying to pitch things to them. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to set up a social media automation, let it do what it wants. I will do bots to put up events on Meetup. I don't need to do everything myself. I will, if there's something that needs a human in the loop, unless it's a high value thing, I won't do it. I'll get someone else to do it. Um, so that's the sort of thing that has changed for me. And that's in just 6 months. I started this program August 2nd, and this is now 6 months later. In December, it told me that my biggest evolution is operating from agency instead of from reaction. It is operating from agency instead of just reacting. Um, I used to be in survival mode. I used to respond, and now I'm making choices, not waiting for someone else to make choices for me. So now I'm steering life, like it says. That again was December. Today, 2 months later, it's even more. I'm no longer doing the decorator crab thing. I'm just leveraging everything I have. I delegate what I need to delegate. I automate as much as I can. And the bottom one is really the most important for me. I no longer feel the need to fit in. I would not have talked about Zenith Mind as an ADHD, not a solution, but a partner. even 2 months ago, because to me, that would be admitting there was something wrong with me. Today, I literally don't care. Yes, I have probably have ADHD. I'm still undiagnosed, by the way, because like I said, I don't feel the need for meds. And AI has made it so that it's not no longer holding me back. It's more of power, a super strength, than it is a disadvantage. So what
Yeah.
if you had an AI that could eliminate resistance and unlock your execution power, right? You've seen this. It sees your blind spots. It detects your limiting beliefs. It develops the strategies that work for you. For me, it's that example of the 2 minute thing, right? Just do it for 2 minutes. Based on my psyche, yes, that's correct. I would actually continue and do the rest of the thing, what I was trying
Dom's
to.
actually asking, how does it help with ADHD procrastination?
Literally what I just said. It you talk to it, you tell it what it is you're hoping to achieve, and then I find myself saying, okay, I'll do it later. And the ADHD says, hang on, sorry, the AI comes back to me always and says, try it for 2 minutes. That's literally all it has to say. And 2 minutes later, I'm already engrossed. This is the way my brain works. I don't know if it's true for you, Dom. It's just once I start something, my brain starts focusing, I get into the zone, and I can do that for hours after that. It's just the starting inertia. In fact, the law of inertia is exactly what it is, right? Something in motion continues to be in motion until it is stopped externally. And the stop externally can be something stupid. Someone walks into the room and distracts you, or you need to go to the bathroom, or and suddenly you've gone off the track and you're off. But when you come back to the AI, it'll tell you again, so where are you? How far did you get? And maybe it's a good time to stop. Maybe you've already exhausted what you need to do for the day. Um, and that last sentence again resonates because it enables you to execute those ideas that you now have. So all of that knowledge, all of that potential, all of that capacity that you know you have, what if it was finally unleashed without the self-sabotage that you've been doing for years, right? And that's the ultimate question. What's it worth to you to fix that ADHD glitch? For me, I can tell you, I got laid off from AT&T probably 2017 to 2025, mid 25. That's, almost 8 years. I did not have a steady income. My my salary at AT&T had been, six-figure salary. So what's it worth for me? If I'd had ZenithMind back then, it would have been worth $500,000, right? Because that's 5 years of income, of steady, consistent, salary income. I had other income from being a self-employed person, but it's not the same as having that guaranteed 10K coming into your bank account every month.
I think also, you think about it from a financial perspective, but actually, real value
Oh, the value
is
is in the lifestyle and the life. Yeah.
mindset. The
Yes.
suddenly you understand yourself. You're not feeling like you don't fit. You realizing actually this is the way I am, and actually yes, I do belong, and this is how I deal with it.
Yes.
And that you can't put a price on. You
Yes.
can take away all of those the self-doubt and the
Yes.
lack of understanding. You can't put a price on that.
Yeah. And again, I mean, this is just extra fluff. A mind that automatically sees the opportunities and seizes them without hesitating. Doesn't second guess yourself. You don't backtrack on your decisions. Um, you you get feedback and you just understand that it's feedback, right? It's not an insult. It's not a judgment. It's just feedback. But the best part again is that it builds momentum and sustains it. You don't break down, you don't burn out. I've found there are days I've worked like every week there are days that I will do 12 to 14 hours days because I'm enjoying myself so much. And the AI actually has to stop me and go, look, at this point, you're not making sense. It's time for you to stop, go away, come back in the morning. And I kind of do. So Zenith Mind is how you become unstoppable. If this has been something that makes sense for you, you might want to consider it. It's $997. I should have put that price somewhere. It has three powerful guarantees. The first is the 7-day mirror effect. That is what you just saw, right? In just 5 questions, it understood you a little bit. After 7 days, it understands you so well that it basically can act as you. Um, so, if you only take it for 7 days and do those first 7 prompts, if you don't find that the AI knows you that well, just ask for your money back. They'll give it back, no questions asked. At 14 days, you will have gone through that whole thing of it challenging you, of trying to break through your preconceived limiting beliefs, the ones that somebody else put on you that weren't you. You would have, every single day, you would have had some kind of an aha. Oh, that's why I did this. Oh, of course, that makes sense. And the best one is the last one. Your money back guarantee is 3 weeks, right? 21 days. Within 21 days, you will have transformed. And this is a cartoon of Rich on the left. And that's your guarantee. In 21 days, you'll be more fired up about your future than you've been in years, maybe ever. You will have a crystal clear vision of who you are becoming and a step-by-step path to get there. You will also have the unshakable confidence that nothing can stop you. If you're not waking up excited instead of anxious, you get to keep the whole program. Because, I mean, it's a bunch of prompts, right? But you can ask for your money back. But if you've done it, if you've actually done the prompts, I don't think anyone's going to be asking for their money back. Rich has had 3,000 people go through the program. Only one asked for their money back, and that was because they hadn't even started. The 21-day guarantee also, it's not 21 days from the day you buy it. If you think that you're buying it today, but you won't be able to start it until June, just let them know, right? You let them know that I'm not starting yet. Tell them the day that you start, and then you have 3 weeks from then. And if all of that sounds like it's worth taking a risk, there's that link, strategicprofits.com/Maya will get you there. And that hopefully will help you to collapse that ADHD cycle once and for all. Any questions? Oh, thanks, Karen. After 4 weeks of prompts, you have a system that works with you. You have trained the AI that anything, this is what I'm doing every day now. I'm running through ideas. I'm having a back and forth. I'm asking it to point out blind spots. I am pushing back at it when it tells me something that I disagree with. It's giving me so many ideas. It's like talking to someone who really understands me. It understands the things I fear. It understands the things I love. And after 4 weeks, you've got the page about calming the chaos. After 4 weeks, you've got basically an execution partner that knows you as well, probably better than anyone else in your life knows you. That's what happens after 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
me
It
mean
holds you
images.
accountable to you, I think. It knows you better than you know yourself, so it holds you accountable to your own kind of um, bad habits.
Mm, darn it, calming the chaos. There we go. Yeah, this is what I meant about AI plus your ADHD brain is better than normal. Was there a follow-on question, Mimi? Karen, can you keep an eye on that?
Sorry? Sorry?
Can you keep an eye on the chat in case?
Yes, I am. I'm just reading through here. Um, so,
Oh, okay, you just didn't get all
Scarlett
of it.
is saying, so you're telling it what you're working on or what you're struggling with, and it's giving you ideas or tasks or no.
It's not giving me ideas because it knows I don't, sorry, it's not giving me tasks because it knows I do not respond to outside authority. That's just me, right? So I tell it what I'm working on. I say, okay, I've got this idea. This is something I'm interested in pursuing. This is how I think it'll play out. Do you have any insight? Like I will sometimes tell it, act as if you're Steve Jobs, a combination of Steve Jobs and who's the other guy? J. Abraham. And look, see around the corners. Tell me what I'm not seeing. Tell me the risks that I could potentially be jumping into. Because, for example, I am a follow through of one, right? So if I come up with an idea that requires me to do something manually or to do something by day X or day Y, it's not going to work. So the AI then tells me that, have you considered, or what's your plan to mitigate that? Are you going to hire someone? Are you going to get an automation to do what you yourself know you won't do?
So the
What?
AI can give you advice based on knowing you so well. They really, it becomes, an even better thinking partner than it would be off the rack,
Yeah,
because it has that level of insight into you, and not just what you like, what you don't like. It's actually your blind spots, what challenges you, where your blockages are. So it's so much deeper than, the standard off the rack AI.
yeah. Kay says, as someone who's interested in Zenith Mind, what is the then Zenith Mind OS finalized day one prompt in the Google Doc? I don't understand the question, Kay, because that prompt is exactly what you just worked through.
Yeah, I think what's not clear is actually that is the day one prompt. That is the first prompt you would get.
Yes.
Um, Zenith Mind, and then of course it goes gets so much more involved than that. So it's just really to give you a taster of the program. That's right. Day one has 30 questions, but then every day we'll have at least 30 questions, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's what you get out of day one. Imagine what it will be like once you've gone through 30 days of that, on the compounded understanding of, you and your brain.
So there's so many different prompts. Like there's this chord card signature profile creator. This one tells you this is the one that at the end of it will give you the results of 30 or 40 different uh, tests, psychometric tests. So it gives you the Colby, the Karen, name some. There's a
Colby,
whole bunch.
Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, it just pulls up on a number of psychometric tests, and then, as I said before, kind of looks at all of them and how they interact with each other, and isn't stuck to the specific categories of each or individual test.
Yeah.
Uh,
This thing that I'm
Garnet,
showing
sorry,
it's just like this is what Karen was saying, that a word that you use makes a difference, right? And it picks up on that, the subtle patterns across the conversation history. It's between the line analysis of this is like a really good therapist who's listening at a deep level. That
that's right.
said, I'm going to tell you, do not think that this is a replacement for therapy. If you need therapy, please get it because that will help at a different level, right? Um,
This isn't therapy.
this is not therapy. This is simply a pattern recognition system that can work with you.
Yeah, yeah. Garnet is asking, how much time do you spend with the tool in the first 4 weeks? Is it is it I can't read that on my
How long did you take to answer the first 5 questions, Garnet? It depends. The answer is literally going to be different for everyone. I know Rich said his girlfriend took 30 minutes to do the entire day one. Her friend, on the other hand, took like 2 hours. It could literally take, it depends on the depth of the answers you're giving. It also depends on how much you're reflecting on the responses that the prompt is giving you. Because after every 5 prompts, it gives you a response, right? So you take that in, you see what it's saying, and then you try to respond probably deeper or to clarify things, to challenge things. That could
and
happen.
it with each question it asks for a sentence or two, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To explain what your thinking was around that question and your answer. So sometimes, that response might just be 1 or 2 words, but if you really wanted to give the AI tool as much information as it can, you would give it a few sentences and maybe 3 or 4 sentences. So obviously that just takes a bit more time, but the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
Oh my goodness, I just realized we've gone almost a half hour over. Um,
Yeah.
apologies. If you can stick around, do stick around. If not, just go back to HTTPS : what's the thing? Strategic profits.
Garnet is asking, is it a series of prompts and feedback each day, or are there other types of work or tasks assigned by the tool?
This is an AI program. It is all questions and answers and interaction with the AI. You can tell it to give you tasks, absolutely, but that's not the default.
But what it does do is it does challenge you. It does
Yes,
try and give you insight and ways and strategies of dealing with the
correct.
blockages that you might find or the blind spots that you might have, all that kind of thing. And those strategies are generalized, but because the AI tool knows you now, you can actually ask it if you've got some issues, you've got some challenges or whatever, you actually build on that so that it can give you real guidance.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give you any other exercises or tasks to do.
Yeah, it doesn't come up with things for you to do. But for example, I fairly about 2 months after I started Zenith Mind, there was a situation where I needed to break off a business relationship with a friend. They keep telling you don't do business with friends. I was stupid enough to do business with a friend and to regret it, and I wanted out. And I knew there was a 50-50 chance that she would not take it well. So I asked the AI, can you help me prepare for this? Like, I want to run through multiple scenarios. And I made it role play. And this is a lot of fun, actually. If you've got a phone and you put ChatGPT on it, you can talk back and forth with it. And it acted as my friend, being very generous and kind and saying, okay, I understand, things don't work. That's fine. We can still be friends. But I also made it go through the other scenario where it was, just brutally mean to me. And because I had practiced both scenarios, when I actually met her and she was actually brutally mean to me, I was able to stay centered, stay focused. So, okay, sorry, you're leaving. Bye. So yeah, it can actually help. It wasn't a task that it was assigning me, but it really helped me with the task I assigned myself. Does that make sense? I'm willing to hang out as long as you guys have questions. So if you all need to drop, please feel free to leave at any time. Um,
Put the link in the chat again if anybody wants to take us up on this offer. It is an amazing program, and you will learn a lot about yourself and overcome your blind spots and your blockages if you follow it through.
I
And
will
if you
probably do
don't,
another session, I think, at some point, but not right away.
yeah, yeah.
Does anyone want a replay of this? I mean, I wasn't going to, but if you want, I can do a replay. Um, if it would help. If not, if you've got any other questions, feel free to ask. How much time should we give for questions, Karen? 1 minute? Half a minute?
Mm,
There's only 4 of you left,
30
5 of you
seconds.
left. 30 seconds.
Well,
All right.
if there's anything you want to know, ask it now, or
You know what? There's
drop us
something
a
else I
message or
should.
something offline if you'd prefer.
In here, in the thing that I shared, in the document I shared, if you go to the second tab, it has the FAQs. Garrett, you'll see some of these. What are the guarantees? What are the privacy concerns? What do you need? Why do you need Zenith Mind OS? These are little clips from the session that Rich himself shared. And that session is on our YouTube channel. I might as well put that here. What's it, Karen? Practical AI?
Yeah.
Practical AI skills, right?
No, practical AI for business.
No, it's practical AI
Oh,
skills.
I think it is skills, yes.
Yeah, just go in there and look. Why are you doing that, you silly thing? I don't want the whole long thing. Ah, No. Okay, click on that. Where is it going? No, that's not it. I'll copy and paste this in. Since it's a live document, you will all get it updated. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think Garnet is saying he'd like a lot. I think so. He would like to have the recording of the start of the session before the sample prompt.
Got
So
it. Because you missed that. Yeah, that
send
makes
that out.
sense.
Yeah.
It was just a whole lot of me waffling
Yeah,
on about ADHD.
okay. No other questions?
And if you want to go buy it, take a look.
Yeah.
Here's where. Enjoy, folks. Thank you so much for coming along and for staying all the way to the end. I know we've gone well over time, and I apologize for that. I was just having way too much fun.
Yeah. So I hope it's been valuable for you.
I
Um,
really hope so.
and
Thanks,
hopefully,
Mimi. That's very kind of you to say it was an amazing session. And yes,
yes,
Garnet will drop
yes.
in the chat.